Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back at another YouTube video. And in today's video we're gonna be doing kind of like a let's talk a bit slash let's just quickly talk about this, and that is the reverse flash in the DCU. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna title this video yet. Uh I still haven't decided really. But yeah, it's gonna be something along the lines like let's talk about the reverse flash in the DCU. And what I mean by that is I pretty much just want to talk about where I want to see him debut, and also some possible actors. Perhaps I'm not gonna do a whole kind of like I think so and so fan casting and all that. I'm gonna just say what the actor kind of needs. Maybe list some examples who I think personally could pull it off really really well. Uh, who I think could pull it off really really well. So without ado, let's get into it. So yeah, Reverse Flash. Personally, one of my favorite DC villains. I think he's really cool. I think he's an embodiment of what a villain should be, or at least in his aspect, I guess. Uh, I think him and Flash have one of the best rivalries in comics. I definitely enjoy reading through pages of when they fight and stuff like that and everything. Uh, yeah, and they probably have one of the best rivalries. That's why I'm gonna be a little bit. I'm not gonna say picky, but I'm gonna be a little bit kind of talking what I think in terms of like when he's gonna debut and stuff like that. Let's start off with the first thing for comes first. Uh, the Flash movie. The Flash movie starring with Ezra Miller that's supposed to release in like 2022, I believe, end of 2022. So yeah, it's been a year. It's gonna be about a year since I don't even know when you guys are seeing this too. So that's another thing too. Well, in my current, when I'm recording this video, it's about a year, a little over a year maybe. Uh, but again, or maybe even a little less. I'm not even too sure in terms of when you guys will be seeing this. But right now, it's just about a year, kind of like a little bit over a year till it comes out. And one of the topics of the film is the fact that it's supposed to be some sort of Flashpoint paradox. It looks like it's going to be some sort of Flashpoint paradox type movie. And if you remember that comic, you would know that Reverse Flash kind of plays a big part in that, in the sense that he's kind of like the villain of the whole comic. Kind of, I say he's kind of on purpose, because he's not exactly the villain, but I mean he is somewhat the villain in that comic. So that brought a lot of people's attention to, is Reverse Flash going to be in this? And honestly, I don't think so, because in the trailer and stuff we see Red Death, sorry about that, who's another speedster, basically Barry Allen. Uh, and I think they even confirmed it too. They confirmed, or Ezra Miller, I think he confirmed it, that the movie's villain will probably be like some sort of alternate universe of himself. So that's one thing, and that kind of bummed out a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really bum out me too much, just because you'll see what I'm about to say just now. But I mean, that's another thing. It didn't really bum out me too much because I understood the reason. Now, yeah, does that rule out the possibility of him being in the movie? I have no clue, honestly. But I really don't want to see him as the main villain. That's the only thing really I'm gonna say. I wouldn't mind seeing a cameo. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad if I saw like maybe a cameo, confirming who's the actor or whatever. That's completely fine, justifiable. But I mean, I do not want to see him full out the gate, full on, just coming at Barry and being the villain. That's absolutely not what I want to see. So first of all, let's get into how I think he's gonna get introduced, when I think they should, uh, and also how he's gonna be introduced. At least from my opinion. Now, in all honesty, I find especially something like this big of rivalry needs time to build up. As you just said, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing maybe a cameo slash kind of starting up the fight, maybe even a post credit scene. That's another thing too, a post credit scene, maybe teasing him. But I want to be fully well honest. Again, like it needs to have some timing. That's one thing with the DCU. It doesn't have very good timing in the sense of when they time things out. For example, Death of Superman rushed way too quick. That was a decent comic storyline, but then it just got rushed in that movie, and I did not like it one bit. It needs some time to build up. That's the biggest problem with the DCU to this day. And with Reverse Flash and Flash having such a big rivalry like this, it doesn't make sense for Reverse Flash to just be straight up attacking him right out the gate. I know for a fact, like, of course, Reverse Flash is a time traveler and all that. But I mean, one thing, or yeah, it's time traveler. Sorry. Uh, One thing I like, again, it's gonna be too rushed if straight away if really the two of them versus each other. Like, the greatest example of this is got to be Dark Knight, the Dark Knight Nolan trilogy, where of course, Joker is one of Batman's arguably uh, best and his biggest rivalry. That's not even arguably. Joker is probably his best villain. Well, it's I'm gonna say it's kind of opinionated there, but I mean, he has the biggest rivalry with Batman. I'll just say that. Uh, so again, with that, we saw him in the second movie, which was better, kind of spaced out, because it wouldn't have made sense for Joker to be straight up attacking him right out the gate. That's one thing. And of course, like, this Barry Allen is not very experienced in the sense that he has not unlocked off his full powers, as well as, like, he's just like kind of like a kid right now. So that's one thing as well. Uh, so yeah, what was it? I was beginning to talk about kind of like of what was going on with in terms of him being introduced. So yeah, I would say honestly, the earliest I ever want to see him is Flash 2 or maybe the Flash 1 post credit scene. That's it. I mean, uh, it's all right if maybe they put him in Flash 3, but honestly, I would say put him in Flash 2 if they even have a sequel. I have no clue what the plans for the DCU is right now. Because apparently it's supposed to reboot the timeline and everything, so I'm not too sure what's gonna go on with him. That's for sure. I have no clue here. But the last thing I want to see is him being completely screwed up and completely like underutilized and everything. Kind of like the CW. I can't even lie. The CW kind of screwed him up big time in the sense that they did make him pretty good, but they underutilized him way too much, and also the sense that he wasn't the greatest in this CW and stuff like that. So that's another thing. But that's again a completely opinion. That's just my opinion on that. But yeah. Now let's talk about like the bit of the elephant in the room in the sense of actor wise. So in my opinion, the actor who plays him has got to pull off some very interesting things. He's got to pull off a huge ego, because that's one thing. Reverse Flash has probably one of the biggest egos in comics, aside from maybe the Riddler. That's what kind of comes up to my mind. Maybe the Joker or something like that. But I mean, the Reverse Flash is one of those villains. High, very high ego. He has got to be kind of like that, kind of bring that smart ass kind of way of acting in a sense where you just feel he's pure evil. I'm not gonna say he's a smart ass, but I mean, like, you kind of like get really pissed off at him and stuff like that. That's one of the things too. Reverse Flash is one of those villains you don't feel bad for at all. You don't go like, oh, I feel sorry. He wasn't really bad. No, you feel really bad when you look at it. I mean, you feel like super pissed off, and like he deserves to be beat up by the Flash and whatever. So that's one thing. That's one villain you don't really cross the line with, is the sense that he making us feel bad for him. I gotta say, if that happens, I'm gonna get pretty mad, honestly. For the most part, unless they do a really, really good job, which could happen. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, again, like, he is one of those villains that you don't feel bad for, and you like him because you hate him so much, slash you think he's pretty cool. That's the only kind of reason. Uh, but I mean, again, the actor has to pull off like that level of hatred, the huge ego, and personally, in terms of my pick, honestly, to play this, I would pick Anthony Starr. I know a lot of people fan cast him as the Reverse Flash, but I genuinely believe that he could pull this off very well. If you've seen The Boys, you know Homelander is actually pretty similar to Reverse Flash in the sense that he's got a high ego. He's purely evil. You don't feel bad for him at all. So that's another thing. I think Anthony Starr could pull off an he could pull it off really good. I gotta say. I mean, I really want to hear maybe that uh, I hate you Barry type thing or whatever. That he could definitely really pull that off. I gotta say. Uh, in terms of other castings wise, I couldn't really see too many different people. Actually, in terms of Anthony Starr's look as well, he actually pulls it off really well. Because he also plays Homelander too, which is actually pretty interesting as well. So he'll kind of have maybe that two comic book role type thing. And I have a feeling he could fit potentially very well in this. And he looks the part too. That's one thing as well. Uh, I've seen a few other people kind of fan cast some other people as him. I've seen Michael Fassbender, which actually wouldn't be such a bad idea. I just this is more so with me, but I think I would think of Magneto way too much if that happens. Uh, yeah, in terms of I know I don't want to really talk about the CW too much. I don't really like the CW to begin with, but one thing I actually liked was the guy who actually plays Reverse Flash in the show. I thought he looked and kind of acted like Reverse Flash. I gotta say, I'm not talking about the guy who acts as Harrison Wells and all that. I'm talking about the other guy. I don't remember what his name is, but yeah, that's another thing. But honestly, also I wouldn't mind seeing perhaps maybe an unknown playing it. I honestly I'm never really opposed to seeing an unknown, just because they bring something extra to the table and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.